Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where I'm back in the USA ready for Preball, because this time next week we're going to be in Toronto, Canada for the start of the Gumball 3000. Well, I am here with the Shmee-mobile, my Shelby GT500, visiting TopGear Imports in New Jersey. I last came here about 3 years ago with the Ford GT, and today we're taking the Shelby Mustang into Manhattan, yes, into New York with my car. Not that one, no, my actual car, which is over there. It has been shipped up from Miami. It is here from Florida, ready for the drive ahead of us. We've got lots to talk about, plans for Gumball, cars, where we're going until then, what's going to be happening. Let's head inside though, have a quick look around some of the cars here at TopGear Imports, then take my GT500 downtown into Manhattan, into New York City. First things first, right beside me here, 2002 Formula One show car, Michael Schumacher, signed by the man himself as well, legendary. But come on through because we need to go and explore. Now, back in 2019 on my Ford GT tour here to the USA, I picked up the car from JFK, drove it into downtown Manhattan, and then my first stop on the whole tour was to come here to TopGear Imports, New Jersey, to catch up with Sean, to have a look around this private collection. It's an event space, and there are some amazing cars. So very quickly, before we get to the GT500, this is the only US Golf Blue Porsche Carrera GT. The only one. There's only one other in existence beyond that. This Carrera GT, under the cover at the moment, is actually a car with only 216 miles on it. It's basically brand new, hence why we'll leave it that way. There's a manual V12 Vantage S just behind. We've got the 991.2 GT2 RS Visac package. We've got a trio of 993s, Turbo S Turbo. We've got a 964 in Wimbledon Green. We've got a Cobalt Florio, 930 Turbo. We've got another 930 Turbo here, but come on through. Let's go for a walk around towards this side because the fun does not stop. Believe me, this is a G-Body 89 Speedster. Behind that, the Lotus Esprit. Then this is Chassis 1 Roof CTR, the new tribute to the original Yellowbird. That's chassis number 1. How cool is that? We've got a pair of Supras, but before we get to the GT500, come on around. We've got to talk about a few of the other cars here because it keeps going, believe me. We've got another 911, E500 Limited. Right, this is special. Gumball, Mirage GT. You can maybe spot a few details about this. Orange calipers. This is actually a car I rode in about 8 years ago, and we're potentially going to be back soon for something quite special. Can't tell you too much right now. This is interesting. Convertible G63. 2001 convertible, 2021 look, because it's basically been completely customized. Come and have a look inside here at the interior. You've even got the modern style steering wheel, dashboard, the G controls in the center, and of course, all of the leather. They've done this entirely in-house, which is very, very special. 964 RS, another convertible, and we've got the Maybach Landaulet. Yes, the convertible Landaulet, armed with champagne bottles, ready to rock and roll. Now, let's come to the GT500. It is wonderful to be back here with this car again. The last time was about 3 months ago. We drove it down to Key West in Florida, to the most southern point of the contiguous United States. We've now had it shipped up here to drive it up to Canada. Now, Gumball, we need to talk a bit about cars. It's a complicated topic. I never realized how difficult it would be in terms of crossing the border into Canada. So for the time being, what we are doing is taking this car up, which I've had to do a lot of complicated things to do with the registration to make sure that can be done before obviously eventually it's going to be brought back to the UK. We're going to be heading on a little tour from here up through New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. We're going to be going to Montreal, to Ottawa, and into Toronto, ready for the rally. But this car is ready to rock and roll, and hence why we brought this all the way from home to here, to have this, even with its red pinstripes, matching with the red pinstripes that we have on the car, and even with its number plate. And talking number plates, I need to squeeze on through, because around here, have a look at this. This is quite fun. We even have, because I brought them from the UK, my UK plates. There is never enough horsepower, just not enough traction. Quote from Carroll Shelby, because eventually that is going to go right there, just like on this. How fun is that? So we need to get ourselves geared up, work out what's happening next, get this car out of the road and go have some fun in New York. In typical fashion, it has started pouring with rain. As Brits, we seem to take the bad weather wherever we go. I'm hoping that the thunderstorms will stop before we drive off into Manhattan, but one thing we need to do is to put a tag onto the car. Now, this process has been so confusing for me about cars in the US, but to drive into Canada, I had to get a new tag, and by complete coincidence, we've basically got 150. It says 15D. It's not a vanity plate. With a little bit more time, I might have tried to get something that said some cheese-tastic derivative of Shmee, but anyway, we have this for now, so I need to put this on. I need to put the sticker on it as well. I've got that just inside the car at the moment, but this is going to have to go in place here so that we are all good to drive around with this car, which has, of course, prior to this point, gone completely coast to coast. It's been in many major US cities. Gosh, I'm not doing a very good job at this. Goes in there somewhere. Right. Let's leave that for the moment, because the other thing we could do that could be quite fun with this, given it's a Florida car and therefore it only needs a rear plate and it could have tinted windows and all of that, what else it could also have for fun, given this is how it will be when it's in the UK, is the front plate on. If I put that on there, that's exactly how it will look down the line. So eventually, when this is at the Shmuseum, you know, fast forward 5 years, 10 years, all the pictures of it could have this on the front. Why not? I think that would be quite fun. Anyway, something to look at. For now, I need to get that screwed on properly, and then I guess we'll wait and see what the weather does. It's time to do this again, and in the GT500, this means a press of the button, and it's going to be noisy. Yes, I missed that sound. So, we will carefully... Oh, we're completely out of fuel. That's going to be our first stop. I did not realise we have 5 miles to empty. Anyway, we will depart, which means saying farewell to the rather magnificent chassis number 1 CTR. Grab my seatbelt. That's a cool view actually in the reversing camera. That is a very cool view. And we will shuffle this back to exit from here. Move all my mirrors, everything back into the right place. The car has recently been for a service and some brand new tyres on it as well. That's a cool view. That is a very cool view. As we get ready to go out and brave the rain. We've waited a few hours in the hope it was going to clear. It has not done so, so we're just going to have to go out and deal with it anyway. We actually have to be really careful here for 2 reasons. The first, with this weather, we have brand new Cup 2s on this car, like brand new, at the rear, which is something to be aware of. The other is that we now have 2 miles to empty. It's completely out of fuel. I'm not entirely sure how I managed that, but maybe I didn't leave it full and then it went to service and back. Not entirely sure at this stage. Anyway, we will go and get this filled up at the first possible opportunity so that hopefully on our way into town we're not going to run out, because that wouldn't be ideal. So the thing I have not missed about this car is that little problem. Fuel prices here, I've read more than enough that everyone's saying they are super expensive, except compared to Europe they're actually still super cheap. But I think we're literally going to go in just here and then that problem will at least be solved. How do I get in here? Right, let's go sort this out. The good news is that we now have a full tank of fuel. While we were doing it, I had to put my jacket on. It was not fun being outside. I thought we came here to try and avoid some of this. We are going to make our way, though, in towards downtown, because I want to do it with the GT500. I would have loved it to have been a beautiful sunset, you know, a perfect evening. Yeah, that's not going to happen, but there's a lot more we do need to talk about in terms of what is coming up with this trip and the plans that are ahead for where we're going to go, what we're going to be doing, because as usual, you can bet there are going to be some awesome things in the works. I genuinely do not know why I am doing this, other than I want to take this car into Manhattan, but this weather is so horrible. It's so horrible. And by the way, over my shoulder, there is an AMG GT Roadster, I think. Not that you can really see that, thanks to the rain. The fuel thing has been confusing me, and I've looked back, and I parked the car with a full tank of fuel. So at the moment, your guess is as good as mine, but this car had a full tank of fuel. It had driven 39 miles, and then it only had 3 miles to empty. Something happened in the meantime. Something, somewhere. And I said fuel prices have gone up, but I haven't worked this one out, so I can't finger point anywhere at this moment in time. Just a little bit weird. Anyway, I've got some tolls to work out, we've got some weather to work out, and we've got a whole load of chaos to work out. All I know at this stage is it's going to be eventful, whatever happens. Fast forward about 45 minutes of queuing, and we're at the George Washington Bridge. We're on the upper deck, because the lower deck is for people with toll passes, only easy passes, and I don't have one yet. We'll have to sort that out. This isn't getting any better, but we are crossing over towards Manhattan. We will, somewhere in the clouds, have the New York skyline. Not that we can see a whole lot. Oh, this has not gone well at all. The other thing is, all of my, so certainly as part of the service, this was reset. So all of my settings were zeroed. So all of the bespoke, what do you call it, my mode settings that you have with the Shelby button on the steering wheel, all were completely blanked, and we've gone through all of those again. And yeah, there's just generally stuff to think about. This hasn't been an ideal drive, but I am quite excited to get over to New York. I mean, you can't really see, but off to the right, in the clouds, somewhere, are some of the skyscrapers further down towards lower Manhattan. That away. But yeah, we're just not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. I'm going to move to the left lane. That looks to be going a little bit quicker. I tell you what though, it's slightly clearer here as we cross to Manhattan. Slightly clearer. The second half of the bridge is a little bit clearer than the first half. Although we need to exit somewhere to go. I just, yeah, this is my memory of having the Ford GT here, it was epic fun. But I couldn't handle it for more than about 2 or 3 days. This is all you do in New York. You just sit in a traffic jam. You go nowhere, just absolutely nowhere. I guess this counts as Manhattan. We are off this side of the bridge, heading down to some other highway down that way. Wishing I was on a road that opened up a little bit more, but hey, you don't come to the concrete jungle that is the Big Apple if you want to enjoy driving a car. You come here purely because you're here, and that's about it. I need to get to the other lane. That's the other thing I'm struggling with a lot here. It's a complete maze. It's a complete and utter maze. We're somewhere near where we're going. That is the Maserati showroom, Maserati Manhattan. Oh no, we need to be in the left lane here. Yep, we're going this way. And the Alfa Romeo showroom. Oh, there's some unusual stuff in the Alfa Romeo showroom. Firstly, there's an F1 car. In front of that is a Rolls-Royce Wraith, and behind it is a 992 GT3. I mean, that's a pleasant surprise. Those kind of count as our first, like, super luxury car spots of Manhattan. Why? How? What? I don't understand. It's literally the Alfa Romeo showroom. Anyway, cool. We're getting lost, but it's okay, because there's a yellow Lexus LFA. And I'm all right with that. Getting lost and seeing LFAs is a good thing to do in showrooms. It is what it is. We've just done a loop around because have a look at this. We've come back to Alfa Romeo, and inside, what do we have? Pista Spider. I mean, I was not expecting that, but I'm totally... Oh, and is that a 360? 430? I couldn't quite see. I was not expecting that at all. That was well worth the little diversion. This is Columbus Circle. We're literally at the southwest corner of Central Park. So going this way means we are going along the bottom edge of the park, which is the Billionaires Row, isn't it? This is where you have all of the ridiculously tall, very thin buildings that have recently gone up pretty much all around us, and obviously Central Park, just off to the left, which is one of the most famous parts of New York. In fact, yeah, you probably can't really see, but there are some very, very tall buildings right alongside us, set just a touch back from the road we are currently on, which have all gone up in recent times. Yeah, it's a little bit mad to be here, I'm not going to lie. It is a little bit mad, at least this time. In fact, I kid you not, it was just up here on the left that I got pulled over in the Ford GT for the first time. That I got pulled over and the guy came right up to me and he was like, "Where are your tags? Why are you driving with no tags?" Because obviously UK number plate doesn't look like a US license plate or a tag, as they're often called. So I proceeded to have to explain how that worked. That was the first time I got pulled over with the GT. Not for doing anything, just because the UK plates were confusing. It didn't look right. And then again in Miami and in San Francisco, all times just show the documents, explain the system, and life is good and on we go again. But here, I'm hoping we can pull up somewhere and probably get for one of these stands that you have all around the place, a quick hot dog somewhere, something like that. Let's see. Who knows? Learning as we go. That literally didn't take very long. We're parked up here. This is the Plaza Hotel. We are surrounded by, obviously, skyscrapers. We're right alongside Central Park. And as it happens, this is exactly where we came with my Ford GT at about this time of day in July 2019, when it had just got here. We haven't, of course, been through Times Square. I think we'll probably have to drive through Times Square, but Times Square on our night lights is even better. So, yes, that's where the day is taking us. For now, hot dog, at the side of Central Park. This is quite exciting then. We are pulling up to the side of Times Square. This is the blinding lights. It feels almost like daytime as we arrive here. Obviously a little bit more traffic before we go around the corner. But the fun thing about being right here, in fact, as we do then go around the corner, is that my first Gumball 3000, and the relevance here is that I'm about to be doing my 7th Gumball 3000. My first ever was 2012, which was New York to Los Angeles, coast to coast. And it started for the start grid here, literally. I'm not sure if it was left or right as we go around this corner, but in front of us. Oh, there are some Swatch adverts up, which is very relevant. Swatch adverts for the Centre Pompidou collection on that screen on the right, given I'm wearing a Swatch right now, as some of you might have noticed. But yeah, it was literally here, and we got some amazing photos of the Ford GT here as well. I don't know if left or right, but either way, look at this place. Look at this place. It's crazy. It feels like just absolute madness. Yeah, so we're gonna go left. Oh, look at that to the right. I think the grid was off to the right, maybe. Who knows? Either way. Yes, it was. It was behind, I think, and I think we started in this direction. So my first ever Gumball began here, right here. And now we're heading towards another one. Madness, absolute madness. Yeah, so cool to be here. This is a vibe. This is Times Square, New York. That didn't look so healthy. This one looks a little bit healthier. Parked in the middle of Times Square. This is absurd. Really cool. The amazing thing now is that we're right beside Central Park. In fact, I think we're about to drive right through the middle of Central Park. But to get back to New Jersey from here is currently 28 minutes when you consider it took about an hour and a half to come the other way. But obviously it is now nearly 11 o'clock at night. This is kind of cool. A road literally through the middle of Central Park. I like that. Oh, I must have driven along here at some point in the past, I don't know. Ooh, little tunnel. We know what that means. Okay, we're going to have a lot more fun with this through the many miles still to come. In fact, I think this car is going to do thousands more miles while out here in the US. I did promise I'd talk a little bit more about Gumball, and I'm sure this probably makes sense, but given I literally bought a car in the United States of America, and Gumball this year is mostly in the United States of America, it's an absolute no-brainer. Earlier in the year when I was in Dubai with the AMG GT Black Series, I talked about sending it to the US, and believe me, I tried. It was actually supposed to get back to the UK on the container ship 10 days ago, which would have given me time to get it out here as well, and that was what I was hoping to do until the ship got delayed. And alas, nobody's fault, it happens. It made it impossible to bring that car out here for now. So at the moment I'm intending to bring it out to the US later in the year. That's certainly on the cards, but it made much more sense to ship this up from Miami, which is still like over 1,000 miles, I think 1,500 miles or so. Take part with it for now driving in this. That might not be all though. There's still more to perhaps show and explain, which we'll see about in the near future. Believe me, I've been trying some really cool stuff. I just underestimated massively how difficult the start being in Canada would be in terms of vehicles and basically customs and taxes and transport. And many rally entrants are actually sending their cars to Buffalo and New York and then either transporting down themselves from Toronto to drive up to Buffalo. It's not an easy exercise. So we've got the GT500 here. I am immensely excited. It is a very suitable car for the rally. Surprisingly few of them around, ridiculously powerful, cool thing, practical and functional. To be honest, that's a big deal, having loads of space. It will be a weapon when we go to a track. It will also be fantastic for the long slogs. Good sound system, comfortable, good technology, basically everything that you want for this kind of adventure as we make some much, much, much more welcome progress out of this place. Wowzers. Right, do you know what? I'm exhausted. We're going to our hotel. This was a long first day in New York City. But that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching as always, guys. Lots of really cool stuff to come. Stay tuned, mark my words, it's going to be mega. That's it for now though. I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.